Hi, everybody. This is Tamara Kelly from Moogly, and we are live. It is Wednesday, March 12th, 2025, and we are almost at the Ides of March, almost made it halfway through. I hope that it's been treating you well so far. I know the weather here in Iowa has been absolutely bonkers, which I know you've all been dying to hear about, but we've had some really beautifully warm days and very cold nights. So spring is in the air. Fingers crossed for a beautiful St. Patrick's Day weekend for all of us. So I hope you're doing well. Give everybody a chance to join us here as we go live. Thank you so much. Good morning, Kathleen, and thank you. Everybody's with us. Kathleen, you're in the dentist chair. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope today is especially easy for you and you get to enjoy the rest of your day and your teeth don't hurt too much afterwards. So, if you pop in, definitely tell us where you're watching from. I love to see where you guys are at. If you've got any other questions, comments, definitely please do let me know. Let's go ahead and get to it. We have our latest Moogly Crochet Along Square, of course, to share. And this one, I'll make sure I hold up the right side first here. This one is courtesy of Julie Yeager Designs. And Julie has been part of the Crochet Along for the last several years now. I'd have to go back and count, but absolutely gorgeous designs every year. She's known for her squares. Beautiful design. This is what it looks like from the back. So definitely the wrong side, but also a really nice clean look for sure. Nothing to have to hide there, but this side really is the star of the show. I did end up eliminating one round for size, I believe. I did take that one last round off, but that's the great thing about squares. They're super easy to adjust for size just like that. You can always add an extra round, take that last round off, shrink it down, make it bigger, taller. It's a really easy one. Easy type of project to play with that way. So again, this pattern is up free on her blog, and you can get all the details for that on Moogly. Be sure to read my notes, and I've got lots of video tutorials linked out for that as well. All the different stitches. Not too many tough stitches for that one, believe it or not. It's just great stitches used to great effect. And of course, I'm using Red Heart with Love. I'm trying to use up some of my stash back here. That's how we came up with this colorway this year. But I think it's turning out really pretty. This is the first time I have done one of these crochet alongs with black as my joining color, sort of going for that sort of traditional stained glass look. I've never done that before. I've always kind of gone for a lighter white or maybe just a different colored joining sort of main color for mine. So I'm really excited to use black this year. It is making me turn the lights on a little brighter in the evening. I will say that. Sometimes I need a little brighter light that I'm used to having to use. So, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Julia and Anna and Donna. Happy National Crochet Month indeed. I keep forgetting it's National Crochet Month. It doesn't stop me. I don't pick just one month to crochet in, so I tend to forget a little bit. Oh, hi, Kathleen. So glad you are not in the dentist chair today. And Nessa and Ocean Girl, so glad you were able to catch us live. Thank you so much. And over on Facebook, we've got Donna and Sandy and Adrian. Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. Yes, you're having the same weather out in Massachusetts. Hopefully, the warm weather will stick around and we won't have that, third winter, fourth winter. What are we on right now? Too many winters. All right, so what else is happening? Of course, we've got a brand new pattern up, the North Star beanie right here. I just got my hair done, but I'll go ahead. Well, done. Got it done. I just did it myself. It just dried, but I'll go ahead and put a hat on for you guys. This is a one skein crochet pattern, and I will say this is really stretchy. I haven't had a chance to do crochet a hat in DK weight in quite some time, and I kind of forgot how really stretchy yarns like this can be. So normally I'm a person who has to go for the extra large hat. Got a big old Irish head, as they say. But this one, even the smaller size, it's got enough stretch. I think the larger size is really only going to be for people who really genuinely I maybe have a lot more hair than I do. I don't have much hair. I have a big head, but not much hair. So, depending on what you need, I think you're going to have some really great stretch. Either way, it's only going to take one skein. I used Hawthorne DK. So, this was a new one for me. I hadn't used this yarn before, but I really, really enjoyed it. This one is available from both Knit Picks and We Crochet. Same company, two different sites. One's geared towards knitting, one's geared towards crochet. So, you should find the same prices. Hopefully not my hair on the ones you order. My hair gets everywhere. But it is a really, really lovely yarn. It's a DK weight. Um, this is officially a multi. You can see it's got some color variation in it. This one has some color variation in it too, but this one is a kettle dye. And I'll admit the differences in hand dyeing yarn are not and different dye types is not really my best knowledge base, but I think it's really beautiful. That much I know. I think it's a really beautiful yarn. And we just finished filming the video tutorial for it yesterday, so that should be up later this week as well for anybody who needs the video tutorial. It does feature sort of my favorite ribbed brim, which is worked back and forth in rows here at the bottom. And I talk about how you can make that deeper if you want to. Might take more yarn though. Always keep that in mind. But it is a really, really lovely yarn. I'm really did enjoy working with it. I only had the 2 skeins. I had the skein I used to make this and this one other one, so holding on to that for something else as well. Let's see. Oh, yes. Nessa has a great tip for working with the black yarns. She says a lighted crochet hook or headlamp can help too. And that is a great point. You know, it's funny. I have probably, let's not count, but probably close to 1,000 crochet hooks down here in the basement that I've collected over the years. And I still don't have any lighted ones. That is one type of crochet hook I have never managed to collect. So I might have to add those to the collection at one point. Hi, Lisa from Tennessee. And Anna, yes. Yeah, it all depends, right? How much we've got going on, what size hat we're going to need for the day. Yes, and hi, Kathleen and Brenda and Julia. And yep, we crochet knit picks, same company, just different. They split them apart, keep it really just, so you could have one site for crochet and one site for knitting. I think they started as knit picks, and crocheters, we like to have our own stuff too. So rather than change the name, they just kind of started an additional site. Plus, somehow they managed to snag like crochet.com, which is such a get, right? In the world of URLs. That's got to be amazing. Let's see. So, that is some pretty stuff. Let's see. Hi. Oh, yes. And I agree, Julia. Yes, Hawthorne is a really lovely yarn. It feels really lovely. It is, I should say what it is. It is 80% fine superwash Highland wool, 20% polyamide. Again, fibers are not my primary specialty. I'm always learning. In fact, I just used a new yarn the other day that I had to look up. I had to Google what cup row was, and I still don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. So many new fibers are coming up with these days. So this one is 80% wool. So if you are somebody who can't use wool, you'll need to find a substitute, but there are lots of other lovely DKs out there. And I will say I'm someone who gets, that itch, that neck itch when the wool is itchy. And I really am not getting it with this one at all. It hasn't irritated me at all. And I'm pretty sensitive to that stuff. I don't have an allergy, but I get the prickles, when it's too much wool. So this really is some really lovely stuff. I can attest to that for sure. Let's see. Yes, what else? Oh yes, and another good tip for crocheting with dark yarns is work with a bright lighted surface. And I use that one. I use that tip myself, but do I remember to do it, when it's 9 o'clock at night and I'm trying to get that square done before bed? Of course not. Always good advice for sure. Lisa has a question. She says, I'm making a baby blanket with 2 solids and 1 multi, and I don't know how many of each row. Oops, hit the wrong button and now it's covering itself. I don't know how many rows of each I should do. I'm hoping that's the whole question and they're not cutting off the bottom of your question there on YouTube. That is such a great question. And I think it's such a personal choice, if you are using 3 colors, then I would recommend the fun thing about using 3 colors or 3 different balls of yarn is that you can do 1 stripe of each color. When you're just doing 2, if you do one row of each color, you have to do 2 so you can come back to the other side. Otherwise, you end up having to cut the yarn every row. The nice thing about doing 3 is that you can carry the yarn up both sides and just do 1 row of each color. You go across with A, we'll say, the other way with B, the other way with C. When it's time for A again, it's waiting for you where you need it. It works out. It's hard to do without like a whiteboard or something to show you, but yeah, with 3 colors, honestly, the great thing is you can use just 1 stripe of each. If you want to use your multi as a highlight, you can do big chunks of yarn. Some people really like the big chunky look, big fat stripes. Some people like thinner stripes. That's a hard question to answer because it's just honestly about what you like best. I know people aren't usually big fans of making gauge swatches, but especially when you're figuring out colors and stuff like that, it can be a good idea to just sit and play. It doesn't have to be a great big piece, but just sit and play with your yarns a little bit and see what look you like best. Let's see. So, hi, good morning, Carlene. So, thank you. And hi, Kami. Let's see. You are working on the Irish Adventure bag, but you've modified it to make it bigger. That's amazing. I'm very impressed. That is not an easy pattern. That was one I had to call in a tech editor way ahead of time to work with me on because that is a hefty pattern, so I'm very impressed. All right, what else is happening? We have a video tutorial, of course, for the Butter Ripple Afghan. And this one, if you've been following along live, you know this one was a little bit of a trial and a story. I wrote it 3 years ago and finally debuted it. In the meantime, the yarn changed. I got confused. We finally figured it out. This is made using a 5-weight yarn that is no longer available. So find your favorite bulky weight yarn, and you can make this blanket with the dimensions I gave. Or you can pick a 6-weight yarn, and it'll just be bigger. You know, you gotta account for that. But the nice thing is it's a blanket. It doesn't have to fit. So it's a fun pattern and stitch pattern that hopefully you'll be able to play with whatever yarn you want to use it with, for sure. Let's see what else. We've got giveaways, of course, happening. Always some new giveaways. The newest one is Crochet Cute Forest Friends book by Sarah Zimmerman of Repeat Crafter Me. Sarah, as I'm sure most of you know, is an absolutely wonderful, delightful human being, and she crochets some super cute stuff. I'm very happy to call her a friend and work colleague, and I have met her on several occasions. Like I say, she's just an absolute delight. But I was going through and trying to vaguely clean up my craft room the other day, and I realized I have 2 copies of this book. And I thought, well, that's silly. I only need one. So let's go ahead. International Crochet Month. I'm going to send out my extra copy to one lucky winner. So this one, you've seen it. It's been out for a little while. I think it's been 2 years now, I want to say. But it is still a really cute book full of really cute patterns and amigurumi. Sarah's always coming up with adorable new ones. She just came up with a camel on her website, which is super cute. So definitely check that out as well. But this book, we'll be giving it away on Moogly. So good luck, one lucky winner there. We also have the Susan Bates Twist and Locks Deluxe Set giveaway. This is also something I had an extra set of, so I'm sending out to a lucky winner. You can see this one's still in the box here. It's got the case. It's kind of hard to see because it's in the box, but there's a case, there's the hooks. It all zips up. It is a beautiful set. Interchangeable hooks. I've shown those a million times before. Sorry, blanked out there for a split second. Must be because I'm so excited to be in possession of something that is apparently quite rare and difficult to get a hold of. This big boy right here. This is the Bernat Blanket 2025 Color of the Year Interstellar Indigo. They sent me an early ball of this so that I could get ready and do a giveaway for one ball. As you can see, it's a very large ball. This is not your standard size Bernat Blanket ball of yarn. This is a big boy. This is, I think, 1,000 grams. Not sure. What does that work out to in yards? 733 yards. Big, big ball of yarn. So they sent me this early before it even debuted on the website. I got to share the giveaway about a week before it was to debut on the website. They debuted it and it sold out before I even got a chance to see it on the website myself. I mean, I wasn't stalking it, but I know some people were because it sold out in hours. I don't think they were expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. I don't think anybody else was expecting that. Very exciting. Will they make more? I don't know. Maybe. Let's hope. I think, obviously there's a demand for this color, but I don't know. I know it was a limited run. It was, limited edition, meant to be a limited edition. Like I said, I don't think anybody expected quite the response it got. So, Nessa says she managed to get 4 before they sold out. So yeah, it is, it was in high demand. You can see it is very unique, very pretty. I mean, at the same time, it is standard number 6, super bulky, Bernat blanket, but it is some really lovely colors. So whoever wins this cane is going to be very, very lucky indeed. Hold one back for one lucky winner. Glad I did not end up designing a bunch of stuff to come up with ideas for you guys for this stuff because you can use it with any Bernat blanket pattern. Honestly, I think the octopus squish would be super cute in those colors, but you can make whatever you want with it. Like I said, I'm sure Sarah's got some great ideas as well. It is a really, really pretty color of yarn. So we also have the Likey and Universal Yarn giveaway. I've shown you guys that one before. So I'm not going to show you that one again. That one will be ending soon. Now, the sneak peek for today is, let's see. How do I want to say? It's not exactly a sneak peek. It's something I'm working on. It's something I'm very excited to be working on. And it's something you can join me in. I have been doing the Moogly Crochet Along, as you know, for over 10 years, 12 years, whatever it's been. But I'm excited. There's always room for another crochet along in one's life. And I have joined the Jimmy Beans Wool Crochet Along this year. So I've got my project bag, my DeliQ project bag. I've got my notions. I was working on this last night. I am currently on kit number 3, which just came out for this month. I did have to do a little bit of catch up. I'm literally pulling out, this is all my printed out instructions here. I like to work from paper. I'm that kind of girl. But this is the piece for it I was working on last night. I'm just going to jump right in and show you guys the piece first, and then we'll talk about the club here in a minute. Make sure this is, yes, this is the right side out. Look at this intricate stitch work. This is short rows. You can see this is where I left off. I should have a stitch marker in there, but gosh, do I? No, I don't. Must have been really tired last night. We'll pull that loop up nice and high. There we go. So these are tiny little short rows. I've already worked. Where's the end here? Which way is it going? This way. So I've worked one set of them across this way, and now they're coming back the other way, and it is making the most gorgeous textured fabric. This blanket kit club is designed by Lena Skvagerson, whose last name I always butcher, and I apologize. She's absolutely wonderful. Not good at pronouncing Swedish names, I guess, but really, really gorgeous stuff. The yarn, and of course I've had to take the labels off because I like to pull from the outside. This is Jimmy Bean's Beanstalk Worsted. I have some more of it over here. Let me pull it up. It still has the label on it. So there we go. This is Beanstalk Worsted. It's 100% anti-pilling acrylic. You can see it has a really, really lovely sheen to it. And I'm really enjoying working with it. This is the first project I've made with it. I'm fascinated by Lena's instructions. I'm learning so many new stitches and stitch patterns and things that it's got my brain percolating for sure as a designer. And just really lovely stuff. Really lovely yarn to work with. Fascinating pattern. I don't, and I print out my stuff because I like working with paper, but I don't print it out in color. So you're kind of have to go to the website to see it in color. And of course, I didn't print out the big main picture because, again, for the same reasons I didn't print out the instructions in color. I was trying to be a little bit, save some money and print it out in black and white. But if you go to the site, there is the Brights, which I'm doing. I want to say it's the Trailblazer colorway. And then there's also one called Beachy Keen, which is more of a pastel, blues and browns. Beachy feel to it. Both are gorgeous. I genuinely had the hardest time deciding which colorway to make and which yarn to make it with, because they also have the choice of not just this really gorgeous worsted, but you can do it in a beautiful superwash wool as well. And that would be lovely, but I really had to stop and think about my lifestyle, my kids, my dog. Acrylic is the way to go for a blanket in my house. As much as I would love to have a beautiful wool one, I know it wouldn't get the care and love that it deserves. So I'm always someone who's like very practical about, using yarns, and I think every yarn has its place. Big fan of acrylic for stuff, home decor that's going to get used and loved. And this blanket is so pretty. I'm definitely not going to be hiding it away. So that is basically what's happening. The Jimmy Beans Blanket Kit Club. And every month they will send you a new color of yarn, a new skein of yarn, and a new set of instructions, and one builds on the other. So for the first month, I was just using the yellow color. The second month, it was just the red. I just started the third. I got caught up, and now we've added that teal color. Absolutely beautiful. So fun to see how you take one piece from the previous month and you add a little bit to it the next month, and then you start another piece that you're going to add to later. I'm having a blast. It is a lot of fun. I've got a link to it in today's post, just like everything else I've been talking about. And I'm just really enjoying it quite a bit. I'm also using their hooks for this one. I have a set here. Now, I will say it's important if you choose to do this crochet along, it's important to get gauge. And I did have to change hook sizes from the recommended hook size in the pattern. Happens to all of us. So always important to check your gauge. But the hook I'm using is from, although it's not the recommended size, it's the size that gets me gauge. It's from this set, the DeliQ set right here. And this is something else that Jimmy Beans Wool sells. It's separate from the Kit Club, but it is just the most beautiful set of hooks. And I want to try and open it without, this is a spare set. So I have a full set right here. The kit calls for an I. I ended up going down to a G plus, but again, that's why we say whatever gets you gauge. So this is the full set right here. This part comes out, this top bit, which is why I was being so careful. I didn't want it to fall out on us. You can see this kit comes with all of these gorgeous hooks, and something really different they do is they put these little dots here, and those are 1 inch apart. So you don't have to pull out your ruler as often. There's also a little, let's see, this would be a yarn needle. We've got a little notebook, and then under here, hiding down here, are some of these stitch markers, which I'll be honest, I did not think I was going to care for this style of stitch marker at first. They stick pretty well, but I really do. I usually use this style of stitch marker. This is sort of my go-to. Hold it up there so you can see it a little easier. There we go. So yeah, usually, and they're plastics, they're not gonna stick. These are must have a little bit of metal in them. But yeah, found I really did enjoy this style of stitch marker once I started giving them a try. So anyway, these are also available at Jimmy Beans. I realized I did not put a link to these in today's post, but I will get that up here as soon as we're done, as well as a link to the sweater I'm wearing, because I always forget to do that until afterwards. So yes, let's see. Let's see. Yes, Donna would love to see that colorway. This one, I'm guessing, in the worsted. That would be lovely. This is so pretty. Purples are always so popular, so I'm not surprised I went with purple for this year. One of the fun things I have done on the giveaway on Moogly is for an extra entry in the giveaway, you can tell me what you think the 2026 color of the year is going to be. And I'm really enjoying seeing the responses on that. For a while, it seemed like there was kind of a gearing towards green, and then I'm seeing a lot of blues. It's kind of been all over the place. So it's been really fun to see what you guys think next year's color will be. I have no idea. So I'm in it to find out right along with you. Let's see. Let's see. Yes. And yes, Jimmy Bean's wool. Jimmy Bean's wool. It's got kind of a funny story, and I don't want to butcher it. Laura Zander, who started Jimmy Bean's, tells it better than I did. But they actually tried to start out as a coffee shop, hence the beans. And then they found somebody who had some beautiful locally made yarn to sell. So they started selling those too. And then that kind of took over. And like I said, I don't want to butcher their story. It's a really interesting story. But yep, Jimmy Bean's wool. So kind of all came together in the end. Kind of like how Moogly started out as a mommy blog, right? We all have to follow our path, and you never know where it's going to take us. So yes, I do have a link, like I say, to that in today's blog post on mooglyblog.com, and I'll make sure to get a link to the hooks up there as well. And once you're on the website, you can find those there too. So that is all, I think, the stuff I have to show you right now. I've got some things to tell you about, some events going on and things you can come see me at in the future. Crafting Organization Camp is up now. The free tickets are online. You can get free tickets on today's blog post. It's actually happening March 20th through the 22nd. And my contribution to that, I'm one of the speakers, is I'm talking about how I keep my crochet projects organized. The yarn, pretty self-explanatory. It's on a shelf behind me. But my actual projects, I would prefer, if I had, my druthers, I think I'd probably be a one project at a time person. But these days, I've got probably 5 or 6 going at any one time. And keeping them straight can be a challenge. But I've got it pretty well dialed in at this point. It's a system I've been developing over the past 10 plus years. And that's what I talk about in my segment. So that's just one small part of it. That's definitely more knit and crochet focused. Definitely applies to knitting as much as crochet. So if you're a knitter, don't worry about that. It's for everybody. I probably refer to crochet hooks, just sub in knitting needles. And so that will be, part of it. But other people are going to be covering a bunch of other topics. There's a ton of other types of crocheter or crafters, I should say, in there. Lots of us don't just crochet or knit. We also do paper crafts or Cricut or embroidery or whatever. So I really love that this craft organization camp is bringing together all these different crafts. It's not just crochet. So I think you'll get lots of tips no matter what your craft room or nook or underbed storage looks like that will hopefully help you out as well. Let's see. So yay, thank you. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Then we've got an in-person event. The rest of these so far are all in person this year. Stitch Up Chicago is happening April 4th and 5th. They are almost sold out. Last I heard, there were maybe a couple of tickets left for the weekend. So if you want to get those, get on that now. If you are not able to attend, do definitely check out you can join virtually with Knit for Food. I don't know a whole lot about this charity. I'm not personally involved with it, but Patty Lyons is, Laura Nelkin, a lot of people that I know in the industry and trust are involved with it, and they are raising money uh, for food pantries and things like that. And just checking it out so far, they've already raised a tremendous amount of money. It seems like a really good cause. If that's something you can do, definitely check it out. I hope to learn more about it while I'm at Stitch Up for sure. Then we jump ahead to June. Let's plan our year together. June 21st, I will be doing a 1-day crocheters retreat. Let me try that again. 1-day crocheters retreat at the Lancaster Yarn Shop in Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Again, that's June 21st. That's all day in Lancaster. So that will be super fun. My friend Wendy owns that yarn shop. I've known Wendy since before I even learned how to crochet. So I'm very excited to be coming out there and teaching for a day at her yarn shop. We also have in October the Cozy Stitches, a fall crochet retreat happening at Big Raven Farm in Minnesota. So definitely check that one out. That one's going to be much more relaxing vibe, sort of a yoga retreat, artsy, craftsy vibe for the weekend or long weekend, I should say. That one's October 23rd through the 26th. So on a beautiful, beautiful um, B&B type, property, Big Raven Farm, Minnesota. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm very excited about that. Will be in October. And then this is two. We've got one in September. So jumping backwards a little bit to Scotland and another to Austria and Bavaria in December. So if you haven't heard yet, we're doing 2 craft tours trips overseas this year. That is the plan. We all know the world is crazy, but that is the plan. We are going to Scotland in September and Austria and Bavaria in December. Scotland, we'll be wandering around. We'll see a tartan mill, explore Scotland. We're going to go to the Fraser's Cottage from Outlander. Other cool things, yarn shopping. I'll be leading crochet craft workshops. And then Austria, Bavaria, it's all about those Christmas markets. I'll still be teaching a couple of crochet workshops, but really, it's the Christmas markets that we're there to see for that one, as well as some other crafts. There will be glass blowing and some apple strudel. I'm going to try apple schorle. I've been studying my German Duolingo for, I think, just over a year now. I think I just hit like 390 days. So that's about all I've got, but I'll still work on it. And yeah, so fingers crossed, we will be doing those trips as well. Several of these events do require a certain minimum participation to be able to go forward. And I know that, 2025 is interesting for everybody, but I do hope if you're able to that you'll join us on these trips. They're a lot of fun. I'm super excited to be getting out more in person this year. Fingers crossed. And yeah, I'm just super excited. I hope you guys will be able to join us. So let's see. Ocean Girl, yes, you said you never seen, Marianne says she's never seen an anti-pill yarn with a sheen. I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm really, I'll tell you what, I've been working on these little stitches on these little short rows, these back loop only short rows. And yeah, it is working up beautifully, really, really beautifully. Some yarns I've used that pill, before you finish the end of the project. This is working up really gorgeously. And that's one of their main claims. So I have to believe it for sure. Let's see. Yes, and it is, yes, Jimmy Bean's wool. That answered that question. You got that one good. And hi, Tammy. Thank you for joining us. All right, I think that was everything I had. I'm just looking around, seeing, did I show you guys everything today? I didn't show you my cool coffee mug. Drinking out of my octopus themed coffee mug. That was a gift from my sister. Yeah, so I think I could do one other super sneak peek that I wasn't even planning to share, but I'll share what the yarn is for my next free crochet project coming out on Moogly. The next one is, I believe, going to be made, assuming I grabbed the right one off the shelf, Universal Yarn Barrio. I'm probably mispronouncing that too. Some of these names need to come with little pronunciation guides. Barrio? But it is lovely stuff. Universal Yarn. I'm giving this one a try. Got a project on the blocking board with it right now. It is hiding from me. Here it is. 80% tencel, 20% wool. So really, really enjoyed working with this one so far. And this one will have a new free project coming up on Moogly soon. It is a mystery that does not want to tell me much information about itself. I think it's a 4. It might be a 3. but it doesn't want to say on the label. It calls for an H to a J hook, and using with the project I have in mind, let me hold this up next to this 3. I wanna say it's a 3. What do you guys think? I think that looks like a 3. It doesn't say it on the label, so I'll have to Google it, and I'll have all that information, of course, included in the written pattern. But I'm enjoying working with it so far, so I hope you guys will too. I think that for the project I've got in mind, if you've got a cotton worsted, that would also work very well. So check that out. That'll be coming up soon. Other than that, I have a lot more stuff to get ready for you guys. So I hope that you enjoy the rest of your week. I hope if you're on spring break, you're enjoying that. Or if you've got spring break next week, you get to enjoy that as well. Hopefully, we'll have some beautiful weather for it. Oh, and Vireo, it's a bird. Thank you, Carlene. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, Vireo. Thank you. Good to know. Thank you. Yeah, I swear every time I pick up a new yarn, it's got a name that I have to Google the pronunciation of. But yeah, lovely stuff. I've enjoyed working with it. So I will catch you guys again with another live scheduled for March 26th back at 11 a.m. I hope to see you there. And I hope you have a wonderful day as well. And like I say, a wonderful spring break and a wonderful rest of your month. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody.